There are monsters at the table by Elena Rose Thompson. There are monsters that don't hide under the bed. They sit at the dinner table, say grace before meals, and call themselves family. The story I'm telling today is certainly one of the heaviest you'll ever hear. My name is Elena Rose Thompson, now 78 years old. With over half a century of silence weighing on my shoulders, I was born and lived my entire life in rural Georgia. In a small town where the summer heat presses down like a heavy blanket, and family secrets are guarded more closely than property lines. Many around here know me only as Grandma Ellie, the white-haired lady who sells homemade pies at the Saturday farmers market and never misses 6 o'clock church. Few can imagine what I've carried inside me since I was 10 years old. The day my mama died was the day my childhood ended. She had been sick for some time, consumption the old folks called it. Tuberculosis, the doctors said. I remember her coughing blood into a white cloth, and how her once lively eyes grew distant and tired. The night she passed, the house was filled with a kind of silence I had never known before. A silence that felt permanent, cold, like God had turned his face away. I was just a child, the only one left. Daddy had gone off and never come back, and there were no brothers or sisters to distract from the weight of grief. That's when my mother's father, my grandfather, moved in. Everyone said he was doing the honorable thing by taking care of me. They all patted his back and thanked him at church. But none of them knew what he was really like, what he was capable of. He was a man of very few words, but his presence filled a room like smoke, invisible at first, then choking. At dinner, he bowed his head and thanked the Lord with a voice that sounded soft, even holy. But the moment the dishes were cleared and the lights dimmed, he became someone else. It started with long stares that made my skin crawl. Then came the touches, seemingly accidental at first, brushing my shoulder or my hair. But over time, those hands found places no child should ever be touched. One night, it went too far. I remember the smell of whiskey and sweat. I remember my own voice, small and shaking, begging him to stop. I remember the pain, the blood, the way the stars on my ceiling blurred as tears filled my eyes that I bled for days. But no one asked questions. No one noticed. Or maybe they did and chose to look away. That's the thing about small towns. Secrets don't stay buried because they're hidden well. They stay buried because people decide not to dig. I spent years thinking it was my fault. That something inside me was broken, that I had done something to deserve it. That God had stopped loving me. It wasn't until I was 17 and ran away to Savannah that I began to understand it wasn't me. It was him. I met a woman there, Miss Janie, who worked in a bakery and had a laugh like rolling thunder. She saw through me somehow. One day when I broke down in the middle of kneading dough, she held me while I cried and whispered, "That wasn't love, baby. That was evil." Her words cracked something open in me. And through the years, therapy and community and faith, the real kind, not the one that hides abuse behind him, helped me find pieces of myself again. I never pressed charges, never confronted him. He died when I was in my 30s, alone and bitter. I didn't go to the funeral. I baked a pie instead. I married a kind man, had children, and now grandchildren. But I kept this part of myself locked away, afraid that speaking it out loud would give it new life. It's taken me 68 years to find the courage to share it. I'm not doing this for pity or revenge. I'm doing this for that little girl I was. And for anyone out there who's still bleeding in silence, you are not alone. And to the ones who say, "Don't speak ill of the dead," I say this: the dead don't get to own the truth. We do. If you're still with me, thank you. Please share your thoughts in the comments, and maybe where you're listening from means more than you know. And maybe, just maybe, this story will help someone else find their voice too.